Once upon a time, in a small village named Owu, nestled between the rolling hills and tall palm trees of Nigeria, lived a beautiful young woman named Princess. Princess' skin was as dark as the rich soil, and her eyes sparkled like the stars in the night sky. She lived with her grandmother, Auntie Amora, who was known for telling stories and teaching wisdom to the children of the village. Princess was a kind, hardworking woman, loved by everyone for her gentle spirit. Kingsley, a young man from a neighboring village, would often pass through Owu on his way to the market. He was tall and handsome, with a strong build, his muscles shaped by the labor of his work. His father had been a farmer, and Kingsley had learned all the ways of planting, harvesting, and caring for the crops. He was known for his fine wood carvings and had a soft spot for animals. One day, while Kingsley was in Owu to sell some carved statues, he saw Princess for the first time. She was walking along the village path, carrying a basket of fruit from her grandmother's garden. Their eyes met, and in that moment, something deep stirred in both of them. Kingsley couldn't stop thinking about Princess. He walked to her hut the next day and asked if he could buy some of her grandmother's famous honey. Princess smiled warmly and invited him in. As they sat and spoke, Kingsley found himself drawn to her beauty, her kindness, and the gentle way she spoke. They talked about the crops, the seasons, and the beauty of Owu. He was amazed at how much they had in common. Soon, Kingsley came to visit Princess every day. He would bring her carved wooden animals as gifts, and she would share the best fruits from her grandmother's garden. They laughed, told stories, and spent time learning about one another. However, Princess' grandmother, Auntie Amora, had seen this blossoming friendship and was a bit concerned. True love, she would say, takes time to grow, just like the baobab tree. But love, when it is not tended to with care, can also wither away. Kingsley, although kind-hearted and good-natured, had a secret. He had come from a home filled with anger and conflict. His father was a hard-working farmer, but he was also a man who struggled with his emotions. At times, his father's anger would spill over onto Kingsley, causing him to feel helpless and confused. This left Kingsley with a fear that he might one day hurt those he loved, just as his father had done. It was a wound that he kept hidden, unsure how to deal with it. As the days turned into months, Kingsley and Princess' love for each other grew. They spent evenings together by the river, listening to the sound of the flowing water, talking about their dreams, and making plans for the future. But as the seasons changed, so did Kingsley. The anger that had once only appeared in his father now crept into Kingsley's heart. He tried to fight it, but when things didn't go right, his temper flared. One evening, after a long day of work, Kingsley was frustrated. He came to see Princess, but when she accidentally spilled some water on his carved statues, he became angry. His voice was loud, and his words were harsh. "Why can't you be more careful?" he shouted. Princess, startled and hurt, stepped back, unsure of what had happened. The once peaceful and loving bond between them seemed to shatter in an instant. Kingsley immediately regretted what he had said, but it was too late. Princess looked at him, tears in her eyes. "Kingsley, this is not the man I fell in love with," she said quietly. "Love should never hurt. If you truly love me, you must learn to control the anger inside you." For the first time, Kingsley realized that his anger was not just a problem for him, it was hurting the people he cared about. He apologized and promised Princess that he would change, but deep down, he wasn't sure if he could. Princess, heartbroken, returned to her grandmother's hut, unsure of what to do. Auntie Amora sat her down and spoke to her softly. "Love, my child, is like the harvest. It requires patience, care, and the understanding that we are all human. Sometimes, we make mistakes. But true love does not stand by and watch. It gives room for growth and healing." Princess nodded, but she was still unsure. She had seen the good in Kingsley, but she didn't want to be hurt again. For weeks, Princess and Kingsley did not speak. Kingsley worked hard to control his temper. He spent time with the elders, asking them to teach him how to deal with his anger. They spoke of the importance of peace, patience, and wisdom, lessons that were passed down through generations. Kingsley visited Princess again, this time with a new carving, a beautiful, intricate wooden dove with open wings, representing freedom, peace, and hope. He sat down by her hut and, with a humble voice, said, "Princess, I have learned that love is not about controlling others, but controlling myself. I have made mistakes, and I am sorry. Please, give me a chance to show you the man I can be." Princess looked at him, seeing the sincerity in his eyes. She took the dove from his hands and whispered, "I believe you can change, Kingsley. But change must come from within. And it takes time." The two of them spent the next few months working on their relationship. Kingsley learned to manage his anger, and Princess continued to support him as he sought to become a better person. Slowly, their bond grew stronger, as they both understood that love was not just about moments of joy, but also about working together through difficult times. One day, as they stood by the river once more, Kingsley asked Princess, "Will you be with me, through all the seasons of life, to help me grow, to help us grow?" Princess smiled, holding his hand. "Yes, Kingsley. I will stand by you, just like the baobab tree, for as long as we both shall live." And so, Princess and Kingsley love grew, rooted in patience, understanding, and the belief that true love is not about perfection, but about learning, growing, and never giving up on one another. They became an example for the villagers, a reminder that love, even when tested, can overcome any obstacle.